I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming. Oh, man. Good afternoon, good evening, however you want to look at it. Welcome back. It is. I am exhausted. I am exhausted. Today was exhausting. I need a vacation, not to go to Historicon. I made a list and I got so many things to pack. So I suspect this is going to be kind of a short video, and because I don't have much to finish on these guys, I'm just going to run the one camera from the computer. We'll just roll it that way, and this thing has better resolution than the other thing anyway. So, like when I bring this thing up, you should be able to see these guys pretty well. So we're just going to run one camera, and it's either that or listen to something. And a couple of you guys recommended some videos yesterday, and they're all folks that I knew. I didn't recognize who they were. Well, actually, I didn't know who Black Magic Craft is, but anyhow, welcome back. So what the hell do we have left? Not that much. We don't have that much. We have, and I just threw all these guys down here, as I've got my little painting, my little photo thing here, with the troops over here. So let's just move them out of the way. Everybody that's done. The Emperor is done. All these Turks are done. And I kind of wanted to test this venue with just doing one camera. And the reason I wanted to test the one venue doing one camera is one of the things when I go to a show that's really exhausting is posting at the end of the evening the results with all a bunch of pictures and stuff. Actually, there just isn't enough time to do it. So I think what we're going to do is at the end of every evening, it'll probably take 10, 15 minutes at the most. Mitch and I will just do a program. We can try it live and see how it works, depending on what kind of Wi-Fi we have. But if not, we'll record it and I'll upload it of basically what happened each day with the results from the tournaments and such. So I think that's going to be a lot less work for me, and I should be able to stay on top of it. I mean, obviously, I don't want to not report what goes on, but I also don't need to be tortured. So, because I need a break. I'm exhausted. I did not get much sleep last night. I woke up at 4, and work was just hell today. But I think I got all the clothes packed, or at least set up over there packed. So, and I've got the list of the events, and I'm not sure what armies I'm going to run. So, anyhow, so we've got toughs to do on 2 stands. Those 2 stands that we have to do them on is the commander and this cavalry, and then we have the flag to do on the commander and put the little, paint the edges of the flag, and that's it. It's done, so it shouldn't be very long. End of the day reports with Tony and Mitch. Yeah, well, we'll see how that works out. I don't think that the live is going to work because I can't do live off the mobile connection because it's just going to be really crappy quality. And, so I may just have to shoot it like a regular video. And I need to bring this camera mount. I'm screwed if I don't bring this. So, Mr. Tripod's coming with us. It's going to be like a freaking gypsy caravan, I'm telling you, of stuff. This is coming with me as well. And I've got like a bunch of books to bring with me also. It's a long ride, so we might as well learn something, You're going to run that army at Historicon? I'm planning on it. It'll probably suck. I'll do better than the general will, which is not saying anything. I'm actually not excited to play them. I know that doesn't make any sense, but I'm not. I am motivated to paint more stuff. I don't want to paint things and not have the option to play with them, but Yeah, not that excited. We got 3 of those. We only have 2 of these. Let's look at the green, light green tufts. Let's grab another one. Nope, that's not the one. What I'm not looking forward to? All the talking I'm gonna do. I've talked so much this freaking weekend. That's like I already came back, you know? All right. These guys are self-sticking. It's like a self-licking popsicle. I had a friend of mine who used to call it that. Instead of self-fulfilling prophecy, he would call it a self-licking popsicle. And that'll save me from doing all the freaking Facebook posts every day. Because the problem with posting things on Facebook is sometimes you'll arrange things and you'll put like the person's name, what army they use, what record they have, and how many points, and it's all jagged. It's not like, so it's not user friendly. So I'd rather just do the video. We'll try it. If it doesn't work out, we're gonna do one video tomorrow before the con, because we are going somewhere else tomorrow, so we'll do a report on that. It's not going to be live, because I'm going to try to do video in between things, and we'll see how it works out. You'll get your money's worth, folks. You're going to get your money's worth. And I gotta wake up at 4 a.m. because we're leaving at 5. So, oh well, it's better than going into work. I'll tell you what though, today really work flew by, so I guess that's good. Work really did fly by. All right, these are kind of sticking. I don't know what this guy in Australia uses for these, but man, they stick like nobody's business. Crocodile tears. If you were not forced to base things on the DBX basing method, would you still use that basing system, or would you use something else? I would love a method where you could base them individually and then drop them into a stand. I don't know how you do that in 15s. You could do it with the individual figures, but I don't know how you would do mounted. I like the units, but the problem I have, like let's say I'm going to work on Renaissance stuff, and I have a bunch of Renaissance guys I want to paint. I can't just paint what I have. I have to figure out how I want them on stands, and then do the mix and paint them accordingly. So it's overwhelming. If I could just paint them however I went and, base them on pennies, and then they would all be on pennies, and then, you add guys or take them away, it's not a big deal. So, but I do like moving a whole unit. Because it becomes really fiddly when you move individual figures. And those cheaters out there, and you guys know who you are, or I should say, the people that fight you know who you are. Anytime you move them, there's always like there's shrink. You know how they're shrinking a store, basically shoplifting? Well, it's the same thing. The guys are like, this guy's allowed to move from here. Let's say he's allowed to move from here to here, right? So you move him. And then sometimes you start getting sloppy and you move them to here. So you start getting extra movement out of it, And there's people that do that shit on purpose. So. And so you have a lot more irregularities when you're basing figures individually and moving them that way, unfortunately. But I would prefer to base by the each. And I could just be like, let me paint 4 more Huns or something, whatever. And then you could do it and not like, oh man, I got to make another stand and they're not going to go with them. And you don't have to worry about that stuff. So if I did 28s for sure, I would base them kind of like in those little sabos. And then you have the best of both worlds. I've seen someone do sabo bases in 15, but they were on impetus size bases. Okay, so they got to be bigger, yeah. You've been rolling around in mind basing what to use. Should I use the DVX basing Field of Glory? I use 40 mil square aimed for units to have 120 frontage. Yeah, so impetus is double. So it's twice as wide and twice as deep. So then you can get away with these stands of the horses being bigger. Maybe you base the horses on 40 by 15s. No, I'm sorry, 30 by 15s. 30 deep by 15s, and you just drop them in there. And then you can arrange them. That would be cool. But for me, it doesn't work because I am definitely affected by other people playing the game. Like, I have a hard time being the only person that's excited. Like, I wouldn't be able to do what Nordic does. I can't get excited to paint. Well, maybe you're having that problem too. I can't get excited to paint something where I've got to do all the heavy lifting. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. And I've done it before. It's not like I've never done it. It's exhausting. Where you do all the heavy lifting and then people come over and they don't enjoy your game. Actually, I watched a podcast about that recently. Who was it? It might have been actually the guys from Yorkshire Gamer that were talking about that. Putting on a game and then people have a bad attitude about playing it, and it was, they didn't want to. That left a bad taste in their mouth. I don't blame them. You're busting your ass to put a game together, and then people want to bitch and complain. I need really small goals. That's why I like painting figures individually and like taking pictures of what I did and putting them online just to kind of keep the momentum going. I feel like if it sits for too long, I'll find something I enjoy doing more. So you just got to know how you work and see what works best for you. I'm bored to tears on us. I get bored to tears on assembly line stuff. I don't think we need to do more than that. Okay. You join the other people. Just the commander? It is. All right, we got 2 greens, a flowery one. What's this one? One of those. Let's get another one of those and another flower. I need to find something to put these things in. I had this little organizer, but the problem is you pick up one thing and something else slides and falls in its place. So you end up fighting this thing all day long. Lion Rampant, 50mm individual base with infantry on 1 pence coins, 20 mil, and cavalry on 26. Except the museum camels, which have no coin solution. They are massive, aren't they? They look great though. They're beautiful camels. I got what, about 12 of them? Haven't been able to do anything with them. I think Land Rampant's a pretty decent game. Now, the only thing I would change, I would not want to play Lion Rampant as a tournament game. Because I don't like the fact that, what is it? Infantry's forced to be 12s and mounted is forced to be 6s. It just seems too hokey, you know? But, so play your own game. But yeah, Lion Rampant, I've played it 3 or 4 times. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it every time I played it. But I like the push your luck mechanic. That's a good system. All right, this guy with the bright grass, we're gonna put that there. I like that push your luck mechanic. I think it's pretty cool. It's probably, if I couldn't play DBA, I'd play that. With what's available right now, I'd probably play that. And, you know, not worry about points. And it plays pretty quick. And you could play it with these stands and just mark off casualties, you know? But I watched a couple of videos. I guess it was this morning. I was listening to videos and kind of watching while I was trying to knock all this out. I just ran out of time. And watched a couple of videos on using that Masters airbrush cleaner. And everything he did was like stuff I already do. I didn't feel like I learned anything from it, but it's all right. I don't know if I'm going to get a Winsor & Newton brush. If it doesn't last a freaking year, I'm going to be pissed. So I'd rather not get pissed. I'd rather not get upset about that. But I don't have anything I'm even looking for in particular. We need another mid-grain one. Mid-color one. Yeah, it should be here. It should be this one. Almost ready. Almost ready, Joe. This is the last tuft, and then we got the flag to put on, and you should be done. Ready to roll a shitload of ones. There's so many freaking things I want to bring. I have to bring. It's like overwhelming. Good thing I got an early jump start on it. I felt like this convention, I didn't leave things till the last minute and it still wasn't enough time. All right. Now for the stressful part. That's stressful. We're going to use this one. I'm not going to cut right up to the line. I'm going to leave a little bit of white space on purpose. Because it's likely that it's flush on the other side, and it isn't. That means I did a good job. Okay. Well, I'm still going to use a Skylab reporting in. Live from Skylab. That's the eve of the Historicon trip. I have a feeling I won't see any of you guys there. Oh well. I better have a good time this year. This is a freaking pain in the ass. I'm not talking about finishing this army, everything else. Finishing the army, I don't care. I'd still go and play something else. It's not a big deal. I just want to finish these guys because then I can think about what I'm going to do next. That's pretty even on both sides. Wow. I did a much better job than I thought I was going to. Well, better safe than sorry. So the first time I did one of these, and I heard somebody says, yeah, you need to paint the ends. I'm like, what do you mean you got to paint the ends? So you got to paint the edges. And I'm like, oh, shit. So I painted it with black, right? Wrong move. You want to paint a color that kind of matches the other one. So if you go over the piece, it's going to bleed a little bit. And it's just going to bleed right into that color. And it'll just disappear. Just like right here. You guys a very awesome time. Meanwhile, I'll just hunker down in this awful 107-degree temperature and melt. It's going to be just as hot there as it is here. You gonna be hot. You gonna be hot. Work's gonna get messed up when I get back. I don't think about work while I'm gone, but I don't remember the last time that I traveled and work was as less chaotic as it was for this trip. But that doesn't mean anything. There'll still be changes, and that Monday I get back, it's gonna be a zoo. Always is. Okay. That was actually really painless. What's going on with my depth perception? Drink. Ah, it was sealed on the bottom. That's actually a good thing. Because I can paint the edges without doing that part. Other than the Byzantine army, how many more troops? I have no idea. Let's see. I can't use these guys for Wimp Wars. I can't use them for Asian persuasion. I can't use them for allies. That's it. So I've got to bring another army just for that stuff. So. All right, wet palette time. The last time I did this, it was a lot easier to do than every previous time. So what I did different is I just shaded it in that color. Instead of trying to shade it in black and get the edges in black, just don't do that. Do either the blue or the red. Oh, we're gonna need drippings for this one. For sure, for sure. And we're gonna need a small brush. So that it can't hold a lot of paint. Just saw it. There we go. right off the bat, we'll have to trim this bastard. All right, let's do the blue first. What blue is that? No. Yes. Mr. Peter, where will you find another army? We have a bunch. I've got lots of armies that haven't played in tournaments. They were built during the lull. Yeah, I'm probably going to bring 3 or 4. I'm going to bring 1 tray. So however many fit on a tray. So now with this, I'm not too worried if it goes over the edge, because it's kind of watered down and kind of transparent, but just enough that it's going to take this white paper and really hide it. And same thing, you bend this thing over and the printing gets scuffed. So just come in lightly with it. And you're done. Good evening. The end of this army. I don't know if Vlad's coming. I gotta bring somebody for Wimp Wars. I hate for Vlad to show up and I still got that horrible rolling from the other day. I mean, my Irish went from 8-2 to 8-6. I don't like them odds. I'm almost falling asleep here. But I didn't get much sleep last night. If I get real tired, I'll finish packing in the morning. I'll wake up at 3. But I need to not do this in the morning. This needs to be done. Mitch should be here at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. That is the plan. And he generally has a harder time waking up than I do. As waking up at 4 is just 1 hour earlier than I always wake up. All right, what red is that? I think that's scarlet. That's the flat red. Let's do the in-between one. This is scarlet, right? It's orange-like. All right, where's the other one? But I'm real tired. I'm not even sleepy. I'm just like, had too much caffeine, tired. Still getting hung up on the basing. 15 millimeter project should just go with Field of Glory basing or 40 millimeter. Well, when I was going to start working on a certain rule set, the first thing I thought of was I'm going to do the bases out of cardboard. I'm not going to paint the units, and I'm going to put them down on rubber cement. And then, temporarily. And then I had so much trouble finding rubber cement that I went in a different direction. I mean, rubber cement was everywhere when I was a kid. I couldn't find it. So I'd figure out, make sure you don't change your mind on the basing, no matter how long it takes, because then you're up a creek. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to help you with that. I do know that I don't want to find out that I have to rebase everything because I hadn't played the game. Not too much longer at this point. I wish the convention would just hurry up and move back to Lancaster. And it's not the extra driving distance. It's the fact that we got to go around DC and Baltimore each way. That's just a traffic hellhole. Yeah. You know, if you base both armies the same way with the same frontage, shouldn't be an issue. No, the bad news is when I clean this up, there's still some roughage on there. That one's better. So I was watching last night, early afternoon. We're on our Bond marathon, and Bond marathon being my brother and my mom and myself. We're watching them all in order. And we get to You Only Live Twice, which has a lot of Japanese girls in it, right? And then at the beginning of the movie, I busted out freaking laughing because it starts with 007 there making out with a Chinese girl. And the first thing that comes out of his mouth, he says, "Why do Chinese girls taste different?" And I thought that was hilarious. Oh, man. I guess somebody would be offended that now. He didn't say they tasted any worse. Oh. Unless I move out of this area, it's just not a good gaming area, and those that are here are too cliquish for me, and I just don't want that nonsense. Well, who asked you to live there? That's not an uncommon problem, man. I'm sure lots of people have that problem. I had that problem here. Not really necessarily for the cliquish problem, but there was a lot of candy asses here that didn't want to play war games. They didn't want to play with dice. Double whammy. Double whammy. So That's not a unique situation. I'm sure there's lots of people that are like that. Than an area where there isn't anybody. You know, in our freaking country being so damn big, you could go miles and not encounter somebody else. You've rebased my opponent so many times, it's driving me crazy. The group I play with can't decide on a set of rules. I think that's a common problem. I played Napoleon. Mitch has all his troops for Napoleon's battles. I used to have a copy of Napoleon's battles. I actually had some Napoleonic troops. I know, gasp. I had Prussians. 1813 Prussians. And I want to say they were by battle honors. I got them because there was a local group that was playing it, and they were extremely cliquish, but they weren't that much fun to play with either. So, you know, they don't have as much fun as we do. So, are there cliquish people that have a lot of fun? I don't think so. We're gonna do better. We're gonna have to do better than that. That's bugging the living shit out of me. You do all this and it looks freaking great. It's almost like a hangnail. Let's go to the other side. All right, that worked. But odds are, if they're cliquish, you probably don't want to play with them. They're not probably any fun. But let's pop that open. Let's get what I always thought is amusing is you find somebody that is an avid gamer growing up when you're, you know, in high school or something like that. And then the guy like disappears and just like stops gaming. How do you freaking stop gaming? I can see you play less often, but this is one guy that we used to game with, and he was really cool, and he made real cool scenarios and stuff. I just disappeared off the face of the earth. I haven't seen him in 30 years. One of these guys that's super into his job and doesn't have time for. I mean, I get it. Play games that don't take as long. But give up gaming? What's wrong with you? We're not going to put a whole lot of wave in it, and I'm fine with that. And I've encountered several people like that. It's like they're not gaming with you or anybody else. And they were like a painter and everything, but I don't know. Maybe some people think that if they can't spend too much time doing it, they don't want to do it at all. And that might be what the case is. Love the command stand. Really fond of being able to include small dioramas in an army. Well, it doesn't look very good. This light, well, it does look good, but it's too washed out. It's too washed out with this light that's too powerful. It's like too close to it. Several people who just stop playing for one reason or another. A lot has to do with if they're not having fun, why continue? Well, that's true. Or in my case, the spouse kidnaps him and never lets him out of the house. And it's never those people that die, early. Because you've lost some folks, Rick. And it's never those people that get lost. The devil doesn't want them. I don't want her down here. She's a bitch. Yeah. Or people that act different around their spouse. I'm not. I'm the same person around my wife. Unfortunately for her. What you see is what you get. Stopped gaming for about 30 years. Holy crap. You found alcohol, girls, reenactment, marriage, and kids. Not necessarily in that order. Got back into gaming after coming back to New Zealand and the kids grew up. Where were you living before New Zealand? Gamers piss you off. Maybe you're pissing people off too. Need to be a little bit more zen. I can't like everybody. I don't like arguing. I really don't. It's a waste. Discussion's one thing, but argument insinuates that both people are like entrenched in their opinions. It's like, why bother? Why even bother? For some reason, when you bend this over, it almost like crackles the paint. On the paper, the ink on the paper. I don't know that I've ever found alcohol. I get dehydrated so easy and get a headache that it's really hard for me to have a lot of it and feel like I want to keep doing that. Is that pretty? What was it that we called it yesterday? The brown something or another? A case of the browns? Something. I'd rather have explosive diarrhea than freaking a headache. I'd rather have explosive diarrhea at home. There we go. Because you don't want to, you don't want to make a scene. Lived in New Zealand, then the Philippines, UK, US, back to New Zealand, then back to the UK. Good Lord. I don't know. I feel like we're really competitive, but we're not win at all cost people. Maybe that's the difference. But every group's got folks that are more fun to play than others. Like I'm sure if you take some place like, Little Wars or whatever, some of those guys are more fun to, I suspect, I have my suspicions, but that might just be how they carry themselves in front of a camera. Oh, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to say that this is what I will tell you. If I have a chance to play somebody of all those people, the guy whose demeanor I like the most is Greg. Greg seems to have a really cool demeanor. I could be wrong, but he's seems like he's serious enough, because we're serious when we play a game, but when the right thing happens or maybe the wrong thing happens, we like to cut up and make fun of it, But, we're not like, hey, watch this. Let me, do something you're not supposed to do. Or, be a jackass and cost your team a win, or, Greg would be my first pick. I'll leave it at that. Maybe he's an asshole in real life. I don't know. I hope not. I don't wish people to be assholes. I love the game with the guy with the glasses and dark beard who loves to do French accents. Steve, I think his name is. I don't know. They have great production value on their videos. That's just amazing. It's too good. It's better than some TV programs. I know how much time they're spending on that. And inordinate. That's like good for somebody who doesn't paint anal retentively like me. Okay. Let's see what we got here. It's not bad. Do I like how the basing is on him? Yeah, I guess it's okay. All right, let's line these guys up. What is it, like 17 stands or something like that? All right. there's still daylight. I'll take pictures of these guys in the daylight some other time. It's hot as shit out there. And I've already showered. First thing I like to do when I get home. Now what I should do when I get back is paint 2 fast bow stands, a blade and a spear. Because that'll net me 2 more armies. That'll net me the Komnenan army. Not that I'm going to do that, probably. If we find out a lot of battles for the Huns are really cool, I probably won't do that. I don't think I'm going to glue this thing in. I think the fact that it's really light and it really can't damage itself right now is kind of a big plus. All right. Now, what the heck? Let me see what I'm doing here. All right, let's get rid of all these colors. Yeah, that flag's plenty big. It doesn't need to be bigger. It's like you're trying to make up for something if it's bigger than that. Did I make a light horse stand in this army? No, I made 3. Are you going? You going to Historicon, Rick? Richard. Who the hell's Richard? Your dad? Yeah, the freaking lighting is just... It's great for me, not so great for you guys. Well, there we have it. 2 command stands. And it's kind of just ironic that the symbol I decided to go with on the catapult has that light blue on it, which is also the same color that the cape on the Emperor is. I didn't plan that. It just kind of happened. It just looked right. So that worked out. I don't think I'm going to glue this thing down. I think the fact that if this is very light, it could get damaged easy. And if I travel with it in pieces, it's going to be easier for it to not damage itself. No, travel was too uncertain and wasn't sure if I'd retire or not when I decided. So you're not making it? I thought you were. Oh well. I'll shop for you. Not that I want to shop for anything. I just want to look at stuff. I don't even need to buy anything. I just want to look at stuff. Well, see if there's something cool 3D printed. See if there's something that I encounter that I can't see on the internet. You know? So anyways, here they are. Not bad. They'll probably fight like a bunch of sissies. Oh well, wouldn't be the first time. This guy was a big loser anyway, so I'll probably do better than he is. So let's go ahead and pack them and show you guys what I travel with these guys in. Some people have asked me, and here's an opportunity to show you guys. I have not seen anybody's carrying system that I like better than the one I use. Jeez, I got all of them full. Nope, one's not full. I travel over to Mitch's, and then I go empty them because it's a pain in the ass. not have anything in it, right? Right, it's sitting on top of one. So they are baking trays. How long did it take to do this army? I don't know. Count all my videos. I'm guessing probably 200 hours, 300 hours, maybe longer. So it's just a baking tray that is extremely magnetic. It's so magnetic and it's solid. Because if you have something that's flimsy, like I've seen people, and I've done this before, I have had like a Plano box. The problem is the Plano box is flimsy. And as soon as you break, let's call it the surface tension on the magnet, it's going to fall off or it's going to slide in place or something like that. So I carry them all in here. And I probably shouldn't put them away. But the fact that this has a lot of mass, I mean, they don't move at all. They don't move it. They don't move one bit. So we're definitely going to take these guys. I only want to bring one tray. So whatever the one tray. This is a unit I'm going to hate. These sons of bitches, I mean, they look great. Those guys are going to cost me games. Because the first kill is worth 2 units. I really hate that. Because they're not even that powerful. You know, they just get +1 against if they're in combat against foot. Close combat. So they could be shot to bits. And they're no better shooters. And they could cost me the game. So my Burgundians have 3 of those in the army. And I know when I use them, I am constantly trying to keep shit away from them. And I don't have a camp for them. But there's a Byzantine church that I'm commandeering from Mitch. Now that I got this army. He doesn't know it yet. But just like my Roman one. This one. And then this, I put a magnet on there, but this has just got too much mass. So he's got a Byzantine-looking church that I'm going to commandeer for that. How much these baking trays go for? I think this was $6 at a store that I'm not allowed to shop at anymore because they make everything in frickin' China. I don't go to that store anymore. If my life depended on it, sure I'd go, but you know what store that is. Okay, so can't use these guys in Wimp Wars. Need them for allies, and need them for 8. I'm probably gonna have to bring 2 trays. Forged in battle makes a great 15mm church. The problem is it's in 15mm scale. I prefer it in 6. But if I see it in person and it's the right size, yeah, I'd do it. I know which one you're talking about. It looks good. Just might be a little bit too big for my taste. What's in here? What's in this tray? Yeah. Yeah, so you can fit about 3 armies in each one of these things. This is my Hungarians and medieval Germans. Jesus. These guys fell down. There's a tight fit. There we go. And it's pretty freaking heavy. But the secret is that the lid goes up. So, unless you have a guy in a tower on top of an elephant, holding a spear up is going to clear everything. Even these long-ass Landsknecht pikemen, they fit in there just fine. They fit in there just fine. So, anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and... Yeah, they take up about 12 elements. You can probably get about 36 elements in here. Obviously, it varies a little bit. But I'm going to cut this one off. How long have we been on here? An hour and a half? Yeah, we got them finished. So we'll get some pictures on. We'll post them on the internet. And we'll continue packing. And hopefully, I can be in bed by 10. But thanks for coming by. And like I said, we're going to try to do live reports every day. It's going to be easier than what I normally do, which is post a bunch of pictures with stuff typed in Facebook. And it's really a pain in the ass to type things in Facebook, because what happens is you align everything and it doesn't allow you to make things neat with rows. So I think I'm just going to dispense with that, and we will just do a play-by-play at the end of the evening. Mitch and I, if we'll probably do it from the hotel room, I would imagine. I don't really want to go from the big hall, and I'll bring the mic with me because the sound on the mic is a hell of a lot better. And yeah, we'll see. I don't think I'm going to do it live. I just don't think it's not going to get, I've got this signal just for me. There's literally nobody else in here. So, and even then sometimes we encounter with problems. So, but that's what we'll plan on doing. And, we'll go from there. All right. And we'll see you guys in a couple weeks, probably, for, normal stuff. And it'll probably be Huns. Probably. So I'm going to be painting a lot of guys that look extremely boring, and I'm going to make them look fancy, to a certain degree. Okay, folks.